Hello, hello, hello. This is us coming from Famous Crafty Corner, and I want to talk today about the book. This is the one that we pre-did, and then we did this in a live, and we threw in a bunch of signatures here, and we have it all set up and ready to go. So when I got that done, the next question was, but I get stuck on decorating it, so how do I do it? Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of quick tips. I pick a paper set. This is the paper set that I picked, and I've separated out the paper, and so it's 24 sheets, so I have 12 sheets to work with. And what I will probably do here is pick out a couple that I really like that I may hold on to for some other things. Look, there's some little journaling cards in there. That's cool. I may pick out a few that I like to keep for more specific things, but the base of this is all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut pockets out of this stuff, and that's pretty easy to do. So let's grab a sheet here, and I'll show you kind of the formula I use. So my basic formula is to cut off about a 2.5 inch pocket off the top. So this is 6 by 6, so I'm just going to cut it at 3.5. That's going to give me a 2.5 inch deep pocket. Now this can go on the side or on the bottom of a page. And then I'm going to cut this pretty much in half. And I'm just going to angle it, but I'm not going to angle it perfectly. I want it a little off. And I'm just pretty much going to do this. Little pieces like that I'll save. And I'm pretty much going to be doing that to most of the paper in the set. And one of the other things that I do is I order up a set of prints, or you can print these at home. This is entirely up to you. These are from the copy shop where I get my prints done. And as you can see, it's just kind of a variety of roses because the paper pad that I selected is got roses in it. So I just picked a bunch of ephemera and cards and stuff that I had that had roses in them. And I'm going to use these to make journaling cards. And so to do that, I'll cut these down to the main images, get rid of the borders, run these through my Xyron or just tape the back, and I will put them onto cardstock. Just a sheet of cardstock that's in a color I like. And then once I have them, I will cut them all down. So I'm going to cut those up, and I will be back in just a minute to show you kind of the next process here, okay? We are all cut down, and I have, you know, these ones here that look like library cards, and I have some that look like little index cards. And so I'm just going to kind of sort these out, and then we'll take a look. They're pretty much sorted, but, you know, a few things got kind of in the way just because of the way they fit on the paper. So, alright, so I have a few different kinds here. I have these little ones, and I backed these on like some cream colored paper. I got some cuttings in there. And so at this point, what I would do is I would just go ahead and ink these all the way around. Pretty simple. Whatever color ink I want to use, if I want to use pink or if I want to use a brown, and just ink these all the way around, front and back. And, you know, if you're messy and you get a little ink on your finger and you get some on the card, then just lightly go over the whole card with ink. Blend it in, make it look on purpose. There's no such thing as an accident. All right. Now, these ones here, I don't really want to keep them quite so square. So what I'm going to do is get a very small round, and I'm just going to put a very small rounded corner on these. Aesthetically, I think that looks better for these. And then I'll ink those up. These are like index cards, so they're supposed to be square, so I'm going to leave them square. And then here I have like bits of bills of lading or packaging, and these all tend to have round corners. As I'm looking at them, I can see that they're all rounded, so I'm going to round all the corners on these. I'm going to ink all of these up as well, and once I have that all done, then I will come back and we'll talk about getting those pockets put in permanently, and we'll talk about putting these in permanently and maybe turning some of them into some tags, and we'll talk about decorating. Okay, so I'm going to get these all rounded and inked up, and I'll be right back. All right, now let's take a look what we got. So we have our paper all cut down. This is all inked up and ready to go for pockets. We have all of our cards done, and these I simply backed on regular cardstock, and you know, some of them on colored cardstock. Kind of kept the pastel colors here because I'm using pastels in the book itself. You know, I've got the lighter pinks and blues and purples and grays, so that's where we went with the cards. And we have the scraps, as well as a couple of sheets of cardstock that are in the colors that we use to make some of our pockets to reinforce them. And so this is my way. It may not be the right way. Sure, I'm going to hear it. But as a general rule of thumb, I don't decorate just the regular tea-dyed linen paper, but I do decorate the colored paper. And so all I do is I go through and I kind of decide where I'm going to put some pockets. And I don't do every piece. I might do every other piece. And basically I just kind of have these mixed up. And then I just go through and kind of put them in randomly. And I may move these around later, but for now, I'm just getting them in. I do try to make sure that I don't put the same type of a pocket in, you know, right in a row. So by that, I mean, I don't want to put in 2 of these in a row so that I have 2 pockets that do this or this, okay? So we try not to do that. We're going to do something interesting with these square ones when we get to that point. And basically, like I said, all I'm going to do is just go through and kind of drop these in randomly throughout the book. No real rhyme or reason here. And I do this because I find, for me, and this may not work for everybody, but for me, the best way to decorate this is to do it without thinking about it. Thinking comes later. For right now, it's just kind of setting out a baseline, okay? And as I go through here, if I decide that I need to put, you know, some more in here or some less in here, I can do that. So I have a few more pockets here that I want to get in. So really what I'm going to do is just kind of go back and look for places where maybe I don't have as many pockets as I do in other places. And we're going to add some things in. And as you can see, I'm already filling this to the point where, you know, I'm having a hard time finding a place where I can put another pocket. Now, don't worry about it. I know it's small, but trust me. Alright, so we pretty much got those all in there. And like I said, this is just kind of a basic set out, alright? So now we're going to talk about building the pockets up, because some of these are really small. Now, these are the cut-aparts that came with the paper set. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with them. I may use them as some pockets in here or on some pockets. So these are going to be part of our ephemera. And we're going to be using the paper. So the first thing we're going to do is come in and we're going to find the first pocket. And that's this one here. And, you know, this one's not too bad as far as size. I think it's going to be okay on its own. So I do need to make sure that if I do this on its own, that I would be able to get something into it. So I'm just going to take, and it would be perfect just on its own. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have this going right side up. And I'm just going to glue this one in. So the next one we have is this one. Okay, and this one's not very big, but I want to make it a little bit bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of my scrap paper, and I'm going to cut out a piece that's slightly larger, so I'm going to mat this to make it a pocket. So let's get the book out of the way. Let's bring in our trimmer, and let's take a look at this. So the original piece is 3 inches. So I'm going to cut a strip that's 3.5. And the original height on this is 3 inches. Let's see. Oh, sorry. 3.5 inches. So I have a 3-inch piece, and I'm going to cut it 3.5-inch piece. So I'm going to cut this one to 4 because I want that 1/4 of an inch. Now here's the trick. I'm going to put glue on the back. And then I'm going to put this onto my piece of paper in the corner here, giving myself 1/4 of an inch at the top and bottom, about 1/4 of an inch. And then I can use my trimmer to trim this the rest of the way up. And get it to just the size that I want it to be. See? And then I can put this into the book. And of course, so I'm not told I'm doing it wrong, I'll go ahead and ink this all the way around. And I'm going to put glue on two sides, sorry, down one side, across the bottom, because I'm going to leave this part open for the pocket. So we're going to come in here to our page, and I'm going to keep this off the fold a little bit because I don't want to add too much weight to the fold, and I'm going to keep it a little bit up from the bottom. I'm going to hold it for just a few seconds, and this is going to be a nice big wide pocket so that some of the larger pieces that we have will fit in there without a problem. Okay, so I'm going to continue to do this and just decide as I go through which one of these pockets I want to back, so on and so forth. For this, if I wanted to do a belly band, all I will do is take a piece of cardstock that is slightly wider than the piece and get my distance, which I know is 7.5 inches. And my paper is 8.5, so I'm going to take an inch off. That's where we're going to start. And I'm going to fit that. Doesn't matter which page I'm fitting it to. I'm going to take another little bit off. what I'm looking to do is just to make sure that this is going to be the right height. Perfect. Okay. So once I have it at the right height, then I'm just going to glue my paper on. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. This is really mindless because what I'm concerned with is the decorating, not so much just the pockets. So for me, and again, this is just my way of doing it. It's not right or wrong. It's just my way. So once I have that, we'll go back in. We'll go to the page that we're going to put it on. Which, see, now that I've backed it on pink, I don't want to put it on that one. So, I'm going to put it on this one because I think it'll stand out a little better. I'm going to put a little bit of glue at the top. And some glue at the bottom. I'm going to put this at about the middle of the page. Just hold it for a second till it dries. And then this creates like a belly band that I can set cards into, okay? Okay, so we went through and we shoved a bunch of pockets in here. And we've glued them all down, and some of them we have turned into things like belly bands. Some of them are just pockets. Some of them we have, you know, backed on a piece of cardstock. Some of them we've just left the way that they are. And let me find this one here. Here we go. So I had these squares. These are 3 by 3 inch squares. And I told you we were going to do something a little different with those. So let's take a look. So this is what we're doing with it. See, it's a nice little corner pocket, but it has this little flip up journaling spot. So you can put a tag in here or a journaling card, and then you can also have some journaling space inside. So we are going to make that. It's really simple. So all we're going to do is take an even square. 3.5 by 3.5, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, whatever it is, okay? We're just going to fold it together, matching up our points. And then hit it with your bone folder so you get a nice sharp edge. And then we're going to take a piece of paper. Let's find something that is within the color we're working with here. And so I have some of the beige. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a square that is 3.5 by 3.5 because our square started at 3 by 3. So 3.5 by 3.5. And then I'm just going to cut this on the diagonal. And this will fit on there perfectly. Okay, so I'm a little off here, so I'm going to just kind of trim that so that I can have it nice and neat. Looks good. And then I'm going to decide which part of this I want to show and which part I do not. I like this part, so I'm going to glue on the other side of this. And then we're just going to ink this up. All right, now before anybody gets mad at me, I have no idea if anybody does this on YouTube. So if somebody else does this, then, you know, fantastic. I'm just going to put the glue on the two sides because this is going to be a corner pocket, right? Okay, back over here. And then I'm just going to set this in my corner. Now, I could ink the inside of the paper if I want to. It's not really necessary. But, you know, it's entirely up to you if you want to do that. So I've got a bunch of pockets and things in here, and not every page has, you know, a pocket on it. Some of them I'll just add some embellishments to, and I won't, you know, and like I said, this stuff, tea-dyed linen, I probably won't do anything with it all. Alright, so we have some pockets, and we have some side load pockets, and we have corner pockets and flippy things, and we've got big pockets, and so now we're kind of at a point where we want to go through and add our journaling cards. So what I do so that I don't get them all kind of clustered is I tend to use one set at a time and go through and decide where I'm going to put them. Those will fit there. Then I'll skip a couple of pockets because I don't want them too close together. And oh, that's way too big for it. Here's a cute little pocket. See, that fits in there perfect. We'll skip a few. We'll put one in here. We'll skip a few. We'll stick one in there. One in there. We'll skip a few. Let's see. See, that pocket's too deep for it. But that one's not. So I have all my pockets in, I have all my journaling cards in, and now I'm going to get to decorating. So let's talk about what we have. Let's open the job box and take a look. So I have some washi tapes that I think will fit my theme. They're florals and some vintage look. I have some of my tickets. I have some of the pieces from the pad itself. I have some little applique roses here, a couple of extra journaling cards just in case, and then I have a couple of other things. I have these, which are, they're like giant washi stickers, so I can take stuff off, pieces of them out. And so I thought, you know, this may be something that I may want to use. So I have those, and just gonna keep those in the package so I don't lose them. Okay, and what else have we got here? Okay, so I have these are from Punch Company, and they're just like cut shapes and stuff, and they're kind of dressy and they're different, and I thought, you know, one or two of these might work in there. I could also use it for like a tuck spot, so I grabbed those. I do have some actual vintage calling cards that I may use. I may just decide to use some of my do-it-yourself calling cards. instead of putting in the vintage ones, I may make some of my own calling cards and tuck some of those in. I have a set of Bo Bunny layered chipboard pieces here, and there's just a couple of pieces in here that I think might work. This is the Botanical Journal layered chipboard, and I got this when I was on my scavenger up in Utah. I have some assorted rub-ons. These are mostly florals, so I have these. I thought those might be good. And then I thought we'd take a walk on the wild side here. I have 3 different sets of dollar store stickers. And I thought, you know, maybe some of these might work. Let's take a look. We'll try them. See if we can make it look nice, you know, using Dollar Tree stickers. We'll do that next time. So, that's it for this one, guys. Let me get this out of the way. So, if you're new here and you've hung out this long, do me a favor, go hit the red button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, and share me with all your friends. And then your friends can be my friends, and my friends can be your friends. And our friends can get to be friends. Before you know it, we can be one gigantic crafty community. Guys, stay safe, okay? Bye-bye.